Hello. I'm going to give everyone a second to log in. We're a little early here. Welcome. So let's see. I want to get the internet ready to look at everyone's websites. Let's make sure you can hear me okay. Great. So if you're just joining, thank you for being early, not just on time. Let me know where you're from here. There's actually, let's see, there's a little poll you can take here. How did you find out about this webinar? I'm always really curious. Let's see, and then I've got another poll that's really fun. Yeah, I've got so many polls. But yeah, there's a chat room. So if you are if you have any questions or comments, or you want to let me know where you are, I'm always curious where people are. You can type in, I will see that, which is kind of fun. Cape Town, South Africa. What? That's awesome. I am in New York State. I'm about an hour, 20 minutes north of Manhattan in the country. So Los Angeles, love it. Hey, Long Island, Detroit, Mexico City. Oh my God, Netherlands. This is amazing. This is like international. I love it. Boulder. I have two screens. That's why I'm looking up. I'm not like, so the chat box is on my second screen there. This is so cool. You guys are from amazing places. So very cool. Castle Rock, Colorado. I know who that is. Motown. Is Motown a place, or is it a feeling, or is it a genre? We're going to get deep today, you guys. Thanks so much for being here and being on time and early. We're going to give everyone a couple minutes. It's still only 1:59 East Coast time, so plenty of time. There's a little poll you can fill out. Let me know how you found out about this, if it was through Disc Makers or email from me or a blog post or something. Let me know. Good afternoon to everybody. Yay. This is my first webinar I'm doing from my new studio space. I have this like cool little attic room, and it was our TV room for a while. And I was like, I want this space. Like the angles are cool. So I'm still like working on sound treating it, but I'm pretty happy with it. I've got like a silver white cream thing going on. So Baton Rouge. Wow. Is everyone good from the hurricane? Like no one's, anyone have any issues? I hope not. I mean, you guys are from all over the place. We've got rainy England here, DC, California. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Chelsea. You guys, I'm so psyched that you're all here. This is going to be really fun. Just a reminder, if you didn't know, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to go through people's websites if you want. So we'll do a quick website review, as many as we possibly can squeeze in. I can stay here all day. But I want you to stick around. And if you want to sort of connect the dots between all the things I'm going to be talking about today, we can look at your website, see if it's doing what it needs to be doing for you. Don't put your website in the chat box yet. Wait until the end when I call it, so I don't have to scroll through comments and stuff. So, because I want to get to that. So let's get started. Mostly because it is the right time to get started. It's 2 o'clock, 2:01, according to Apple time. You guys are from so many places, which is super cool. If you're just logging on, you should scroll through to see where everyone is from, which is really cool. I am in New York, like I said, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate that you're here. We've got a little poll running that says, how did you find out about this? So you can click there. I've got another one later, which is fun. And there's a chat box if you didn't already realize it, but I'm going to just get started here. So this is the 5 keys to magical money-making music career success. Basically, I want to talk about these 5 areas that I sort of focus in on when I'm working at my career and trying to get results for the career. And we're going to figure out things to do today. So this isn't just like a let's get inspired talk thing. This is an hour plus, a little over an hour of to-do list. So like get out a pen and paper. You'll have actions to take. You'll have a new strategy in place. Like it's going to be awesome. So I'm glad that you're here. You're in the right place. If you are a musician, if you're someone who wants to make a big career with your music, but you're not sure where to start, or you wish you made more money with your music, or you're tired of cold calling, or pitching is kind of a thing that you're not super psyched about. You want more clarity, you want more time, you want more, there's something that you want more of, insert whatever that is for you. So you're in the right place if you are any one of those peoples. Just a quick note, if for some reason my video or audio cuts out, put a note in the chat box and let me know, because I don't want to look like an idiot. Also, if my hair gets messy, please let me know. I mean, I'm going for like the messy look today, so I think we're okay. Today, we're going to cover a couple of things. We're going to look at where you are now in your music career, and that could be just in the beginning. It could be 4 albums in, maybe you've toured, but either way, you're sort of looking at what's next. And I love that question. It's one of my favorite questions. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at where you want to be ideally, and we're going to figure out how we can close the gap using these 5 keys, is what I'm calling them. They're areas to focus on to take your music to the next level. We're going to create a plan specific to your goals, incorporating each of these 5 keys. And at the end, you'll have an opportunity to dig in and master each of these, which is really exciting. I can't wait to get to that. So stay tuned. I'm going to give away some free stuff at the end. And like I said, I'm going to review as many of your websites as I can get to. Don't put the URL in the chat box yet. Wait till the end so I can just click and go through them. And I'll spend like a minute or two on each one. You have to be here in order for me to do it, because I might ask you some questions, and we want to make sure that you're here live. So that's that. Let me just start off with a few facts about today's music industry, because it's hard to thrive in the music industry. And you hear all this stuff about CD sales going down and blah, 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 but it's not impossible. And I want to throw out a couple of facts to sort of create a different, more empowering context. So the first one is 51% of Americans went to live music concerts in 2015. So that number has been increasing since 2011. It was decreasing, and then 2011, people started to go to music concerts more, and it's continuing to grow, which is good news for anyone out there that's touring. The next thing, in 2016, so last year, the average American listened to 728 minutes of streaming radio. In 2012, it was only 586. So people are actually consuming more music. It's just that they're consuming it in different ways, right? They have new platforms to consume music. Again, this is good news. There's a demand for what we are creating, right? Yay, cheer. I'm like, how do you put the cheer on the, you can, I don't know, emoji hand cheers on the chat box. And then the last fact I have is global music revenue in 2016 reached $15 billion, with independent music being 34% of the United States market. So in the United States, 34% of this huge market are actually independent artists. When I think about who's making the money, I always assume it's the big record labels, but it's not true. We're more than a third, which is good news. So that is all good news, because the whole point is that there is a market for what you are creating and what you are selling. So that's great, right? So as musicians, and I'm making the assumption that I'm talking to musicians, right? So if you are an artist or a manager or someone who works with musicians, that's awesome. You're going to get a lot out of this, but I'm talking to you musicians. So when we are off key, we make some common mistakes, and I know all of these. So I want to hear from you. If you are, give me a 1. If you are waiting for someone to find you, this is my biggest problem. I was constantly waiting for someone to find me. Every gig I went to, every show I did, I was like, maybe the executive from some big label is going to be in the audience, and boom, it's going to be it. And I'd always get my hopes up, and then I'd cry. So 1, waiting for someone to find you. This is a mistake we make. We actually have control over how this goes. We get to say how our career goes. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that realization, and it's a little scary, and we have to take a lot more action now, but waiting for someone to find us is not empowering. It is not inspiring. So number 1, I see. Yeah, Rick, you're number 1 there. Okay, cool. Second mistake we make, we don't know what we really want. We see the big stars doing their thing, the big venues getting filled. We see the licensing deals other people are getting, the Apple commercial with that awesome song on it. We think we know what we want, but we're not really sure what we want. So we're stuck doing nothing because we just don't know where to start. So give me a number 2 if you are I don't know what to do. I don't know what I really want. I don't know where to start. They're all sort of related, right? Let's see. Give me a 3 if you are trying to make everybody happy. Is another big mistake that we make. You are targeting the wrong fans, or you're trying to please everyone. So if you are afraid that someone's not going to like this new banjo track that you're putting on one of your songs, and so you don't do it, but you really kind of want to, like, there's a disconnect there, right? So targeting the wrong fans or trying to target everybody is a huge mistake that we make, and we're going to talk about that in a second. So give me a 3 if you're the I want to please everyone. And by the way, you can be several of these. Like I am a 1, 2, 3, all the way. And then the final one, the 4, is thinking that DIY, which is do it yourself, means do it alone, which it is not. This is something I've been saying for years. DIY does not mean do it alone. Do it yourself means creating teams, being a leader, having people around you that are supporting you, and you still saying how it goes. That's doing it yourself. But doing it alone sometimes feel like you're like a martyr. Like I'm working so hard, I'm by myself all day, I'm like in this cold, dark studio, and like it's like the tiniest little violin is playing for you. But we get to pull the sympathy card, right? Like there's an impact, there's like there's a payoff for doing it alone. Like I don't have any help, like it looks better, right? But it's not going to get us the results that we want. Like that's the end part of this conversation, this whole conversation. Are we getting the results that we want? And that what we want bit is actually really important because a lot of us don't know what those goals are. So we're going to talk about that too. Very exciting. Look, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Drew, I hear you. Oh yeah. You're like, I'm going to do the alone thing. It's just not fun when we do it alone, right? It's not fun. Okay, cool. So the 5 keys that we're going to talk about today, and there's going to be a email follow-up where you can get this whole slide presentation. I'm going to turn into slides in a second. I'm not going to turn into a slide, but I'm going to switch screens so you can see this stuff. So don't worry about taking copious notes unless I say write this down. So here are the 5 keys, and you'll hear a lot of them, so don't worry about writing these down. But the first one is brand consistency. We're going to talk about branding. I'm the biggest branding geek out there. I really feel like I could dork out on it for a while. That and pitching, which is the second key. I don't know if you guys know, but I have a pitching checklist and a whole course on pitching. I ran this really cool experiment a couple years ago where I sort of figured out how to write an email that not only got a response, but got a yes. And I've been dorking out on that for a while. So brand consistency, pitching, fan engagement is the third key. The fourth one is generating and managing income. Yay. And the fifth one is structures for success, which is kind of it's like time management on steroids. Cool. So those are the 5 keys, different areas of your music career that we're going to have some actions to take. So we're going to talk about each one quickly and they take it from there. But first, some of you guys, you are so funny with these numbers, 24, 42. I love it. 2442. So if you don't know who I am, and let's see this poll here. Most of you got an email from Disc Makers. Awesome. So some of you guys got an email from me, which is cool. So you sort of know who I am. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown why you should even hang out with me for an hour, which I'm super psyched that you're doing. But I lived in Harlem for 12 years. I could barely pay my rent in the beginning when I was starting my music career. I was touring and I was making records, and all that stuff was costing money, and it was costing more money than I was making. So I had a bunch of odd jobs. Type in 8. Who are my odd job people? Like I was a bouncer. Yeah, I was a bouncer. You don't need to be big. You just need to have an attitude and know how to read an ID. I was a bouncer. I was a personal trainer. I taught piano lessons and voice lessons, which I still do because I really like it. I had a day job for a while where I was working at a composing house, a jingle house in New York City. I was a messenger. I mean, I was trying to make the ends meet, but what that ended up meaning was that I had no time and I had no energy to focus on my music career. So I was scrambling a lot. Like it was like a lot of scrambling. So here are my 8s. Yep, I hear you. Did you pat to play? I don't know what pat to play is. Is pay to play? Yeah, no pay to play. We'll talk about that in a sec. So like I said before, I thought I needed someone to find me to be a success. So there was a lot of waiting and a lot of impatience. So that, I get it. Like I'm here because I get it. And I'm here because I wish that there was another musician out there doing the indie thing that was sharing the process. And I realized there were no one. I couldn't find anyone doing. I have a whole bookshelf of all of the books, like how to make it in the industry, how to do this, how to record. And I just kept absorbing all this stuff. But at some point, it's nice to hear, okay, what works? What doesn't work? What's a strategy we can try? How do you get it to work? So that's why I'm here doing this. Cool. I am a singer-songwriter. I have 4 records out. I've had over 40 TV and commercial placements. I've toured all over the United States and Europe with my band. I've been to Switzerland 7 times with them, which is kind of fun. I fan funded my last 2 records, both of them for over 20,000 each, which is kind of fun. And I'm also a composer. I actually got my start as a composer. Besides commercials, I also have done over 60 scores for videos on collegehumor.com, which is like a comedy content creation site. I've done a dozen documentaries and short films and a bunch of commercials. The last one was a Honey Nut Cheerios commercial with the grumpy cat in it. And I'm also a consultant and coach. I actually went out and got career training so that I could be a more effective coach and do this stuff better. So listen to what's missing. So I'm officially a coach, even though I don't have a coaching business. That's not the main thing I do. I do this on the side because I love it. And again, I wish someone was doing it when I was first starting out and when I got stuck after record 2 and record 3, got stuck a couple times. I've spoken for thousands of people at South by Southwest and ASCAP Expo and all sorts of stuff. So Trina, I have all the books. Yep. I hear you. So, okay, that's enough about me. But I am, like I said, I write music for jingles, and a friend of mine said, hey, you should have your own jingle. So I have a 30-second little thing. You'll get the gist of me. You'll get my voice. You'll hear this is how I write. So, you know, this is kind of me in a nutshell, and then we'll get on to the rest of the webinar. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Cheryl of CBE Music LLC. I write music like this for ads, films, and TV. Sometimes I'm asked to make it funny or dark and epic or simple and sunny. I also write songs and sing them too on stages big and small for fans old and new. You can find me sharing about this in books and blogs and conferences you won't want to miss. That's what's up in my CBE jingle. I'll write one for you that'll make your ears tingle.
Okay, that's me in a nutshell. So, okay. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen because there's a lot of stuff here. Thanks, guys. And I want you to be able to get it all. So give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen here. Let's say Command L. Here we go. All right, that looks so pretty. So here, write this down. So I'm asking the question, where are you now? And when I mean, where are you now? I don't mean literally, you know, we sort of went through where everyone is, right? I mean, what is the snapshot of your music career now? So what projects do you have going on? Do you make any money from music? What does your day-to-day look like? You know, what's the picture? Like, what are the facts right now? Does that make sense? So take a quick second. And if you want to type in and share, you know, where you are right now in the chat box, you can go ahead. You know, my 30-second jingle, that's kind of where I am right now, right? Like I write some scores, I do some freelance commercial composing, I'm a songwriter, and I also do things like this and share my process with musicians, right? That's what's going on right now. I'm also working with an international choir and writing from, you know, like there's stuff, right? And Sam, yeah, there's going to be these sheets are going to be downloadable. You're going to email after this and you'll be able to get all these slides. Just released first solo album, took a break, and now you're trying to work your way back. Great. Okay, cool. So April, you may want to like restart. I'm not sure. It seems to be working. People are juggling a family, a day job, and music career. I totally get that. Like been there, done that. Great. Okay, cool. So you guys are definitely getting all this. I was a crime, hold on. We have to read this one. I was a crime-fighting superhero, but I had to retire from that to care for my sick kitten. Amazing. Okay, great. So next question, where do you want to be? So I call this the magic wand question, as if I had a magic wand and I bopped you on the side of the head and said, poof, now you have the perfect music career. What does that look like? Like, what does the perfect career look like without, here's the catch, without worrying about how to get there or money? Like, it doesn't matter how much money it costs to get there. What would you be doing? So write this down. What is different from right now? What is the same? What are you doing daily? And with whom? So when I say what is the gap? What is stopping you from having that ideal career? So what are some ideal careers? So Ronan says, every darn day in the studio is my goal. That's awesome. Every darn day. So you're writing, you're recording, like every darn day. You write songs for sync licensing, other artists. April, I think we might need you to restart, girly friend. Yeah, so selling more, coming out with a third, writing more. Yeah, trying to, like, there's all this stuff, right? Family is consuming. You want time, right? Okay, cool. So what's stopping you from having that right now? What's stopping you? So I heard time already, right? I saw time, having enough material, getting an idea of where to start. I mean, what's the stuff that's stopping you from having that ideal career right now? Because we have it that it's like, someday I'll do this, or when I get this, then I'll be able to have that. If this, then that. That's a really disempowering conversation for musicians to have, because we're always living in the someday, one day. So this whole thing, everything that I'm about when I work with musicians is like, no, let's create a timeline, let's create a strategy, and let's get into action and make sure that we're not just busy. I'm not interested in being busy. I used to be busy. Ugh, no, busy is not inspiring. Effective, being effective is inspiring. So if it takes you an hour to get some big result, great. If it takes you 100 hours, that's fine too. But you want to be effective, not just spinning your wheels. And sometimes we feel like we're spinning our wheels. Like, I used to put posters up for my shows around town, and I would spend literally 8 hours a day for like 3 days doing that. You know what a waste of, you know how many people came to my shows because of a poster? I think one in the 350 shows I did. Seriously. So you guys are so great. I'm so excited to I'm reading these as we go here, but I'm going to be reading all of them later. So this is really awesome. Okay, cool. So we're going to start with these 5 keys, and we're going to start to create a strategy for you, because I know there's a lot of missings, like working on branding. Great. Oh, Christy, this is your time here. And finding time. So here's the thing. All of these 5 keys, these are things that you're sort of subconsciously working on anyway. We're just going to have you be more effective. That's going to be my word of the day. Effective. So if you have a day job, but you're still working at your music career, we're going to have you save time because of this. So that's sort of my, my intention here. So you don't need a lot of money to make music. I just saw that go by, and I totally get why you think that, but yeah, marketing. All right, cool. So here we go. Brand consistency. So let's talk about branding. Branding is like this word that's been buzzing around the music conferences and stuff. It's not just about your colors and logos and fonts. It's about your story. It's not just about the music anymore, because the internet, it's so easy to find you as a human being before it is to find your music, right? So the brand is having consistency across the board. So it works for you in 2 ways. 1, it helps to attract the right fans. And 2, it tells those fans what to do. So this is the key thing. If a fan lands on your website and they don't know what you want, what's important to you, they're not going to do anything. So you need to be really clear on what it is you want them to do. So branding includes your graphics. This is the obvious stuff, right? Your colors, your fonts, the social media header images that you use on Facebook and Twitter and SoundCloud and YouTube and all of the places, right? So that's what they see. That's the visuals. You definitely want that to be aligned with your music and the experience of who you are online, right? That's the obvious stuff. Logo, if you have one, a lot of bands do. You don't need one, but if you have one, this should also include the colors and the feel of the music. your story. So a lot of people say you need a good story, right? And this isn't like your resume, right? Or a bio where it's like, I picked up a guitar when I was 14 and then I did this with this band and then I was in this band and then I went on tour here and then I did a record. And it's like, ugh, boring. Everyone has that story. Every musician has that story or some version of that story. So what makes your story different? And one thing that I tell musicians, and this might be the gold right here, your story is interesting to people when you start talking about the transitions. So if you look back on your life and how you got to where you are today, you made a series of decisions. The big ones, find 2 to 4 moments where you could have done X, but you did Y instead. Like I could have stayed, but I moved across the country. Or I quit this job so that I could do this. The interesting thing is the motivation behind why you made that choice. And that is what is going to make your story. So for me, I got a degree in marine biology from Cornell University, and I double majored in music, but music was always a hobby. My first job out of college was doing water quality research for the government. I was scuba diving. That was always really boring to me. But I told a PR person that, they're like, I'm sorry, that is the most, I'm like, that's interesting? You think a scuba dive, that's interesting? I was really bored. And she was like, well, why did you get into music? And I said, because I was actually bored in this job and I was never bored when I did music. So that became part of my story. And that's interesting. And not being bored is actually a theme for me. So, and it's one of the reasons that I do 3 things. I'm a composer and a songwriter and a music career consultant, or whatever you want to call this thing that I'm doing right now. So there's a whole thing to my story, right? So this is part of your brand. Website organization. This is where all these dots we're going to talk about, these 5 keys, are connected. This is where we connect the dots. How your website is organized is a huge tell about what you've got going on, how clear you are on what you want, and how you define yourself. So your elevator pitch is basically a quick 2-second glance on your website. And we're going to definitely be able to go through this at the very end of the webinar. I'm going to go through as many people's websites as possible, and you'll sort of see what this means. Your email signature is another place you could be branding. You don't want links to 1,000,001 social media sites. Usually you just want a couple taglines, your what you call yourself. So for me, composer, producer, consultant, or composer, songwriter, consultant. And then a link to my website. You don't want to over inundate people with information. That's part of your brand. So how you talk about yourself in your music is essentially your brand. So you want all of this to feel the same. People should be able to experience you, right? So branding reflects what you want most for your career. So if I go to one of your websites and I see that there is a music video playing, I'm assuming you just released it and the thing you want me to do is watch this music video. But then if I explore your website and I see that you're on tour right now all over the country and all you really want is for me to buy tickets, what? Why is that not on the homepage? Like, that's the most important thing. Like, do you not care if people come to your shows? So you see what I'm saying? Like, you want to be really clear on what you are up to. Okay, cool. Your branding also reflects your purpose. So I get into this. I have a course called MX4, and it stands for Marketing and Money-Making, Mentorship, Mastermind, or something like that. Motivation Mastermind. So we get into your purpose so that you are not just out there for yourself and for your music, because a lot of musicians come across like that, like, help me raise money for my new project. But really, you have a bigger game that you're playing. You want to cause something. You want to cause excitement or peace of mind or connection or emotional connection. Like, there's something that you get too. So your branding can actually do that for you, can help you do that, so you don't have to talk about it. You just get to be that, right? I see there's a question. Should you brand what you are doing? Make it easy for people to understand what you're doing. Yeah, so branding is, what you do is definitely part of it. When you're really clear on your purpose and what you're committed to in this world, that doesn't change with what you do. Like, I could be a bank teller. Like, I'm committed to partnership and creativity and full self-expression. So partnership, creativity, full self-expression. So what I'm doing right now, like, this is creative for me. You and I are in partnership, like, we're talking here, and my goal is not only for me to be fully self-expressed, but to give you guys tools so that you can ultimately be fully self-expressed. So doing this webinar is totally in line with what I'm committed to. So when you get really clear on your purpose, it's not going to matter what you're doing, right? So I could be a bank teller and still be committed to creativity, partnership, and self-expression. Like it's a way of being, right? So this gets a little woo-woo, this part, but it's really important because it's going to attract the right kind of people to you, right? But yes, it does imply that you are doing something. It does bleed over into what you're doing for sure, Michael. It reflects who you are, your branding. And here's what you can do today. So let's fine tune your website, your colors and organization. So this is really simple. So by the way, your menu on your website, the order of the things that you talk about, tell someone what's important to you. So if you have the bio first, that shows that you really want people to know who you are. You really want people to know you. But if you have tour first or shows first, that says, oh, this is important. Like this is first, right? And if they come to your shows, great. It doesn't matter who you are. So the bio could go last. So you can just drag and drop, change around your organization. Let me hear from you. Put a 1 in the comments if you do not have access to your website, like someone designed it for you and you have to like pay them every time you want to change it, or you don't have a website, or you're not psyched about your website. So give me a 1 if there's anyone there that's like, or when you think about updating your website, you like want to jump out a window. Like it sounds terrible. Are there any ones there? So it's really, really empowering to be able to quickly go and make a really quick tweak for your website. I'm a big fan. My website, Ari Hurstan, I don't know if you guys know him. He's a musician that also sort of does some courses, and we use Bandzoogle. A lot of awesome musicians use Bandzoogle, and it's easy drag and drop. It's like it's a really cool website, and they like me and what I do. So I have a deal with them. Let me see. I can just give this to you right now in the chat box. So you get a free month and then you get 15% off. If you want to try it out and see if it's going to make a difference for you. Because all of these ones here, you guys, oh, I love Bandzoogle too. Yeah, there's a lot of people that you don't like. You get stuck, and your website should be your hub. Like if Facebook goes away, like MySpace did, you don't get any of those likes back. You don't get any of those people you've messaged. Like you want to be pointing people to your website so they always know where to go. And from there, you can say, yeah, and if you want to find me on Instagram or wherever, you can go here. But you want the website to really reflect who you are. So definitely, go to Bandzoogle. You can, if you have your own, like yourname.com, you can actually transfer it over there. They do that for you, which is really cool. So that's just a little side pitch for them. I'm a big fan, and they're pretty cool with it. Okay, cool. So you can fine tune your website and get your colors and fonts set. So we do not want a million different colors and a million different fonts. And if you have a picture that you love, you want to pull a color out of that photo so that you can really use it as your color, like own your brand color. So if you have a red and then you pull a red here and then you use like a color wheel to find something that's kind of close, that looks really amateur and people can tell. So when you have 2 solid colors and 2 fonts, so not all different sizes and italics and blah, 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 it's going to look way more professional. It's going to look like you care, and that the experience of listening to your music is that it's going to be high quality. It actually translates to something, your website. So you want it to look professional, right? And those are 2 ways to do it. Only have 2 fonts and 2 colors essentially throughout the site. Go check your social media headers. Go see if the brand is consistent on your social media headers, right? So that's another important thing you can do today. I love canva.com. And that's a place where I make my headers and do cool looking graphics really quickly for free. Scott, that's a great question. What about blogs connected with your site? If you have a blog, you can point to it, you can put it in the menu. And I have a blog and it's called livingongigging.com, and it's a separate site, but you can get to it from my website. I think that's great. Mark, hey, what up? Class of 78. That's awesome. All right. And last thing you can do today around brand consistency is, does your homepage tell your visitors your #1 goal? And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, cool. Canva. Yeah, Gwen, you got it. C-A-N-V. I'll write it right here. This is my favorite tool. www.canva.com. Okay. Great. All right. So pitching, we're going to flow through this. I'm going to give you a really cool checklist. If you have it from my email list, it's a free thing that gets you on my email list, then great. If you don't, you'll get an email with it after this webinar. Pitching is like, we hate pitching, right? It's not about getting what you want. We think it's about getting what you want, but it's about creating an opportunity for someone else so that you become irresistible to them. So again, we're creating an opportunity for someone else so that you are irresistible. And there's a very specific way to do this. And I have tested this for years and it works, I promise you. So here it is. This is called Prime Your Pitch. You will get this as a PDF. Okay. So the first thing to do before you even sit down to write an email, and this could be literally for anyone. It could be if you are trying to put together a family reunion. It could be if you are trying to book a gig at a new venue, or if you're reaching out to a licensing agent to try to get your song in their TV show. You want to start with preparation. You want to do your research, find out what they need, and make sure to have the right contact info. So you just need to do your homework because it will show. And you don't want to make these copy and paste emails. You want to write these individual to people. You take a little bit extra time. That's part of the preparation. The next is knowing your intention. It's knowing what you want before the conversation even happens. So if you have clarity, so will they. If you know what you're asking, they're going to know what to respond to. So I get emails all the time. Hey, here's the link to my music. Signed the person's name. Like, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm not I get it all the time. Like, what do you want me to do? And you have to, the whole point of this is to make it really easy for people to respond. Make it so easy and so clear and not have them have to do any work, not scheduling, nothing, right? So if you know that you want to be booked Thursday, September 20th, then you're going to end up asking that question, right? If you just want to create a relationship with someone, you're going to say, I would love to take you out to coffee. So you want to know, what do you want the outcome to be? So the third part of this is turning the tables on them. So now you're in the email, you're writing this email, figure out what is their problem that you can solve. This is the biggest part. How are you an opportunity for them? And musicians have such a hard time doing this. How are you an opportunity for them? So if you're writing to fans to say, hey, I'm doing a pledge music campaign, I'm raising money for my next record, this is like the hardest. How are you an opportunity? So give me a 2, type in 2, just to make sure that you guys are still here and like awake and stuff. If you're like, no, they're the opportunity, I'm not an opportunity. Like, it's really hard to imagine how we're an opportunity, right? Nina, great question. How do you find out what they need without asking them? That's where the research, the preparation. So you have to make a little bit of an assumption, but you are going to be right if you've done your research. And you can sort of use some common sense here, right? So a venue booker, for example, probably has a hard time filling a 7 p.m. slot on a Wednesday. How are you an opportunity for them? Or you look at their calendar and you see that they don't have anyone opening for their next Saturday night, like someone canceled. So there's a problem that they're trying to solve, right? So it's using some intuition and some smarts to sort of figure it out, right? So you're not bragging. You're not bragging. This is not where you get to talk about yourself. No one cares about you in these kinds of emails. No one cares about your story. No one cares about connecting with you. If you can solve their problem, they will be interested. So if you say to a venue booker, I am in a Americana rock band, and when people come to our shows, they drink. They drink a lot, and our shows are fun, and we are on time, and you can count on us for that. And we would love to take your 7 p.m. Wednesday slot. Like, problem solved, right? Like, there's like 3 problems that you're solving in there, right? Are people going to buy alcohol, or are we going to make money? Right? They are always I like that question, Chad. Can we be an opportunity, and can they be an opportunity? Yeah, of course they're an opportunity. That's why you're asking them for something, right? That's what you're doing here. A pitch is asking them for something, but you need to make it irresistible to them. So here's the fourth thing here is calling them to action. So you actually have to ask them a yes or no question so that they are clear on what is next. Would you be willing to book me on this date? Would you be willing to listen to this track and get back to me by Friday? You want to put in a specific time frame, just not would you check this out and let me know what you think? Ugh, no. Why? Like, why? Why is that an opportunity for me? Why should I listen to your stuff? Oh, because you listened to the show, you've watched the show, and you think this song would be a perfect fit, and I could actually go home early if I'm a music supervisor because I found the perfect song. Yeah, I'll go listen to this song. Great. Right? Last, give them your John Hancock and deliver. Put any links that they may need in your signature. So you don't want to clutter the email with your bio, right? So this isn't a brag fest. This is what's so. Like, this is what I'm providing. This is the problem I'm solving. If you need to listen to anything or need any more information, my link is below. Don't put your Twitter and your Facebook and your Snapchat and your, like, no one cares. They're not going to go to them. That this is part of your brand. So again, clear and concise. Cool. So that is prime your pitch. Okay, so results. When I was fan funding my record, I actually used this. The prime your pitch is actually the basics, the base for a course I created called The Perfect Pitch, which actually outlines the 8 sentences you would write an email to. And I have templates in that and everything. And I asked people to collaborate and contribute to my fan funding. And what happened was I raised $12,000. So what you're not seeing here is that I actually got a check for $10,000 from a fan who just liked who I was in my career. And that was a huge surprise for me. So I raised $22,558 by using this pitching thing. It works. It works is what I'm saying. I literally yesterday, when was September 8th? A couple days ago, I got a tweet from Zach, who took my Perfect Pitch course. And he said, I'm working on landing a gig and I use CBE. That's me on Twitter. A lot of people think I'm an airport somewhere. But anyway, use CBE's pitching method. Got a response in minutes. That's the thing. When you are really clear, if someone is, and you ask a yes or no question, people will respond. So give me a 3 if you are the crickets people. Like, you write emails and it's not that people are saying no. It's like you're not even hearing any response. That was me. My middle name was Crickets. Give me a 3, my cricket people. So it's not like, oh, I would love to get more yeses and less nos. That's not it. It's like, I can't even get a response. So this is what we're doing here. We're getting responses. And when you choose the right people to pitch to, you will start to get more yeses. Woo, number 3s. Yeah, right? So we want to get responses. Okay, cool. So here's what we can do today around pitching. 6% response rate. Okay, no, so good. When I send individual emails to people, 100% of the time I get responses. 100% of the people I write to write me back. There's follow-up, there's other things involved in that, but when you're writing a really powerful email and you leave them feeling empowered to choose yes or no, I'll always get a response. Sometimes it's no. That's okay. There's more actions to take. So today, follow prime your pitch. Try writing a different email, not one where you're like, hi, here's all this information about me, and you sort of bleh all over them. No one has time to read that. No one cares. And are you solving a problem? Probably not in your bio, at least. You don't need to do that. So start following the prime your pitch and see if it makes a difference for you. Take my Perfect Pitch course. It's included in MX4, and I'm going to actually share about that later. Don't worry, I'll give you the links and the discounts and all that stuff for being here, blah, blah, blah. That's a little shameless plug there. And start writing emails. Like, you actually have to make requests in order to get yeses, right? You can't get a yes without a yes or no question. Okay, great. Sam, oh, to everyone, the Perfect Fit. Oh, Sam, I love it. Thanks. And I think I just saw that you had to go too. All right, guys, fan engagement. This one is like the bane of my existence, trying to engage with fans. So what it is, it's interaction, it's relationship building, and it's a two-way street. It's a relationship building two-way street. So it's not being a billboard, posting something and like hoping people see it. Like when you're driving on the highway and you see a billboard, like there's no way to monitor how effective that billboard was. Always asking for stuff, also not engagement. And that's a lot of what musicians are doing are promoting, sell. How can they help me? How can they help me? Some version of that, right? Instead of connecting. Because when you have the relationship and you're connecting, that's when you get the $10,000 check, right? That's kind of a big deal. Okay, cool. So the wrong way is, hey, watch my new video. That's actually, do you know what that is? That's a command. That's no better than saying, come over and vacuum my house. It's a command. People don't respond to commands very well. Like, ugh, gross. So watch my new video. No, there is a different way to do that. Help me make a record. Help me is not empowering. It's not empowering. Again, there's a little bit of, pitch thing like that. The right way, would you play a game of getting 500 likes on this video? That's a post that I actually saw someone do, and I was like, oh, I love that. Would you play a game? Like we as an online community are playing a game to get 500 likes on my new video. People like to play games and people like to win games. So if they're like, yeah, not only are they going to watch your video, they're going to go share it. That's interesting. And did you notice that is a yes or no question? Would you play a game? No. Okay, fine. Would you play a game? Yes. And when someone says yes, they're going to follow up with their own yes. Cool. What's the biggest mystery to you around making a record? That's a great engagement question when you are doing a fan funding campaign. People want to know what you're doing behind the scenes. And instead of just posting tons of behind the scene videos, you can actually ask people like, what's a mystery to you? Like, be curious about the people that you're talking to. So you want to show interest, you want to ask questions, run a poll. I love that on Facebook pages that you can run polls. I'm like super poll dork. Speaking of polls, I have another one here. Okay, super polls. Respond to positive comments. So on YouTube people will go write positive comments on your video. You want to reply to all of them, not the negative ones, only the positive ones. That is like, if you don't respond to them, it's kind of like if you owned a scarf store and someone walked into the store and was like, oh, I really love this scarf. You wouldn't just stand there, right? You would say, great, here's another one I made out of cat hair or something. You would say something, right? Or do you like it in orange? Or do you, so you want to do that online. Pretend it's like a brick and mortar store. How would you act, right? Cross-promote other people and tag them. So this is cool, right? So if you say, hey, my friend just came out with this really cool video, and you tag them and you share, you start to become the source of cool content. And it also shows that you're not just all about you, like you're actually interested in your industry and other independent musicians. So start to make some online friends and find people that are doing cool things. And if you're, not touring or not promoting a record right now, like you're in between projects and you're not sure what to post or what to email about, that's a great place to start. You could always go pull a cool article off of a blog like livingongigging.com, which is my blog, so be the source of awesome content. Play games with your fans. We sort of talked about that already. So some results, you will get super fans. This is how you will connect, and fans that want to be part of your career for the long haul. I haven't toured in 3 years for a variety of reasons. I got married. I had a film score. My dad died. So I haven't been on the road. And last year I came out with a record. So I haven't toured in 3 years. That's how I made most of my fans on my fan list. And yet 2 years after not seeing me ever, these people paid $22,000. Like, what? That's because of the way I've been engaging with them online and being vulnerable with them and sharing what's up for me, etc. So this girl, Caitlin, took my MX4 course, and she had never been on tour before. And within 1 month, so she was in the November MX4 course, by January, she had booked all of these shows throughout Pennsylvania and sort of the mid-Atlantic area. But the cool thing is that every show, she took her band, every show she was able to find a place to stay from at one of her fans' houses, because she did this really cool engagement. She didn't have thousands of fans, but she really figured out who to target and that she was creating a family. She called it the Family Tree Tour. And I love that, so that people felt like, oh yeah, your family, of course you're going to come into our house. And so she stayed every single night for free with her band at a fan's house. That's how fan engagement can turn into a really cool result in your career. So what you can do today is you can post on Twitter, Facebook about someone else. Anyone later on in this on this webinar, you'll see a bunch of people's websites. So if you see one that you really like, grab their website and go post. Be like, hey, I just met this new musician. Look how cool this website is, right? You don't necessarily need to be asking for anything, right? If you're just sharing, but you're sharing authentically, right? Stop being a billboard. So no more check this out when you're really trying to promote. What you really want to do is ask a question like, will you watch this and help me do this and do, whatever. You want to ask your followers a question or play a game, right? So those are the actions those are 3 things you can do today that are actually going to make a difference. Like I promise you, and they're easy. This is all easy stuff, right? Very cool. All right. Next topic, we've got 2 more, and then we'll get into your websites, which I'm really excited for. Oh, we're only 45 minutes in. Great. Generating and managing income. Money mindset. So how many of you, when you think about money, you're like, ugh, like it's hard to get? Give me a number 4. If you're like, it's hard to get, or let's see, what are some other money mindsets? Or like, it's impossible for me, or I don't deserve it, or I do deserve it. Why don't I have it yet? Like, we've got, like, when I say money, like something comes to mind, right? And it's usually not super empowering, right? Awesome, you guys, thanks. Yeah. So I'm going to share this thing with you. The biggest difference between people who are comfortable with money and those who are not is the willingness and ability to manage their money. So that's kind of a big deal. It's like, what does that even mean? The willingness and ability to manage their money. That's what people that have money and are comfortable with it, that's what they do. They're willing and able to manage their money. So let me translate that. That means that they have made money a habit. A habit. Okay. In order to generate income, you actually need to be actively engaging with your own money. You have to know how much you have. You have to know how much you spend. You have to know how much you make, and you have to know how much you need. And then you also want to know how much you want, right? So that's like for extra lifestyle things. When I say need, I mean you pay your rent and your car insurance and your health insurance and things like all your bills, things to make you a upright citizen. So we're not breaking any rules, right? So here's this box that I like to use. So let's say that this is how much you need. So for example, we'll do some easy numbers here. Let's say that all of your costs, like rent and blah, 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 all that stuff, food, the necessities for the month are $2,000. So let's just say that's how much you need. This purple box is how much you want. And this could be how much you want to save, how much you want to, go to extra movies or shopping or something, but you want a little bit extra, possibly for saving. And then this top green box is how much you have now, let's say, or how much you're saving. So again, these could be two different things. You could be saving a little. So this is a $4,000 a month box here. So if you know that I need $2,000 and half of that is going into what I need, and then the other half of I get another $2,000, that is going to my lifestyle and to saving, then you have something to work with, right? So if you don't know these numbers right now, the first thing you need to do is figure out how much money you have and how much money you need. Because from there, then you can work backwards and you can start to put in the universe, okay, I need to make $4,000 this month. That's not terrifying. Or it's $6,000 or it's $2,000 or whatever the number is. But if you do not know what it is, there's no way you can go out and generate it, right? You can't go create something if you don't know what you're creating. This goes back to making sure that you are clear on what it is you want so that you, besides just taking actions to get it, I also believe that when you put something out there in the universe, it is listening. So if you're not putting anything out there, how are you going to make it? So figure out your box here. So you want to make sure that you are set up to be paid. So if you are not in a performing rights organization, PRO, that's ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, SOCAN. There's one in every other country. United States has a lot. Sound Exchange, YouTube monetization opt-in. When you release a record through CD Baby or TuneCore or whoever you're releasing it through, you want to opt in so that YouTube gets your music on their catalog. So if someone makes a cat video, I'm talking about cats a lot today, and yep, SOCAN, there you go. If someone makes a cat video and uses your song and they put an ad on that, you actually get 45% of that money, which is kind of cool. If you're a composer, producer, engineer, give me number 7. Who are my engineer, producer, composers, people where you are creating music as a service for someone? Who are my composers, producers, engineers? You want to make sure that you have a pricing minimum. So you do not have to be wonky when it comes to talk about money, because you have to talk about money, right? So you don't want to be like, well, what's your budget? And they'll be like, well, how much do you charge? Well, just tell me how much you have. Like, ugh. That is not empowering. You want to say, well, I normally charge $1,000 a day for an 8-hour day. I'm happy to work within your budget though, because I'm really excited about this project. Or if you're a composer, I normally do $1,000 per minute of music. I'm happy to work with your budget and know that you're willing to go down to $600, or maybe you're willing to go down to $200. But if you just state what you are valued at and what you would be really psyched with, then they'll know that if you say, yeah, you know what, I really am excited about this project. I have a little time on my hands. Let's do it for 200. Like, yeah, that's less than half. That's less than a quarter, but they'll know they're getting a really good deal, and you just increase that relationship. So know what your minimum is and have a base rate, and you can make it up, but it's really empowering if you're just not weird about money. You're like, oh, I normally charge this, but it doesn't matter what their budget is. It doesn't matter. Great. Okay, cool. Charge what you're worth. And where can you ask for a raise? So my part-time job, my full-time job, people, every 6 months, you should be asking for a raise. Every 6 months. Also, every 6 months, you should be calling any credit card company and asking them to lower your rate and raise your premium, the ceiling thing that it's called on your credit card. I do that every 6 months. I have it in my calendar every 6 months to do that. Those are two things that will be awesome for you and your credit score. So where can you generate new income now? This is an interesting question. So in my MX4 course, we do a Hail Mary for money. And I had one, let's see, where's results? Let me tell you about this story. Once you know it, you can create it. So Scott was in MX4, and he's a singer-songwriter violin player. And he decided that he wanted to make an extra $1,500 in a week, which was this project. You pick a number based on all of these numbers you figure out. And he ended up doing it by booking a bunch of house concerts. House concerts are a great way. They're last minute. You can say, my music would be great for your barbecue or your wine and cheese party, and you work with people, and you're not doing it alone. You are doing it yourself, but you create partnerships with people. It was a great idea. You can sell a bunch of gear. I think I have a list here. Hold on. So some actions today. What to do today? You can sell gear. How much gear do you have lying around? Every month, the first of the month, I look around. I'm like, is there something I can throw on Craigslist that I haven't used in a year? If I haven't used it in over a year, there's no reason for it to be in my, in my room here. Take stock of what you have and what you need to create real money goals. That is something you should do today. Go back 6 months, look at your receipts, figure it out, look at your bills. If you do not know this number, you need to know this number. Ask for a raise. You could use the perfect pitch or increase your prices. And that's that. So that is, I could go on and do a whole thing on money and managing income. I had to break through a lot of my own money mindset walls. There's so much stuff around it, and we can talk about it for days, but I don't want to because I want to get to your websites. We're doing great on time. The last one, structures for success. Okay. So we do not utilize everyday tools and concepts, including your calendar, accountability, community, and personal development. So this is a snapshot of my week. So everything is color coded. I have several different calendars. This is iCal. If you do not have a calendar system, you need a calendar system. I don't even want to ask. I was going to say, give me a 0 if you have zero calendar. I don't even want to know if you don't have it. You could write in it. It could be a book. It can be anything, but you need to put things into reality. So here's something to look at. You'll notice a lot of different colors. You'll notice that there's some pink. You'll see this light pink. That's actually my to-do list. I don't have to-do lists. So what happens is when I think of something I need to do, if it's important enough for me to have to do it, I will actually just go straight to my calendar and schedule when I'm going to do it. Then I don't need to worry about, when am I going to get that thing done? I know that I scheduled it for Saturday at 4. And when Saturday at 4 comes, I trust my past self that that was important and I should do it. So I have integrity with my calendar. There are only calendar events in my life. That is the only management system I have. And the different colors show that do I have a balanced week, or am I favoring one thing over another? It's at a quick glance, I can say, oh yeah, there's balance. There's some fitness, there's some social stuff, there's composing things, there's songwriting things, and there's the coaching things, right? The 3 hats that I wear, those each have a different color. There was a call with my accountability partner. Accountability is one of the things that keeps me going. Like, I do not want to show up on my call next week not having done anything and not having moved forward. And that's a huge thing that I do in the MX4 course. And when I work with musicians, it's I am holding you accountable to what you say you want. And there are not a lot of people in our lives, even spouses and people, that do that for us. A lot of people enable us. Oh, you don't feel like it today? Okay, don't do it. But it's like, you said you were going to do it. You said you wanted it because you said you wanted this result. So I like to hold people accountable, and I like it when people hold me accountable. You'll also notice that I invested in myself. There was a music conference in there that I was going to. There's also a personal development course I was taking, a leadership training course. So there's career leadership. You can take technology development. I took an evening course at Juilliard because I felt like I had a little bit of a hole in my music education around orchestration. So I studied orchestration for a while. There's a lot of different stuff going on, right? So you also notice there are multiple projects, but when it's in my calendar, I focus. And not every minute is scheduled. I have time blocks so I can transition from one to another. So it's not like, I'm on my creative hat. I've got my creative hat on and now I have to put my business hat on. It's like, no, I make sure that the day flows and that there's time to transition. You'll also notice that there is an element around each of these keys. Each week, I do something with money. I either look at our bills or each week I have a different thing to pay or some, I've spread it out so that I have small tasks to do around money. I take a look at my branding. I have an update website that happens in my calendar as a recurring event once a month. I have my social media posts. I schedule them on Sunday nights usually. And I actually schedule for the week so that if I get abducted by aliens, people will still be engaging with me. Granted, I won't be replying, but there will still be content that is going up on my social sites because I scheduled at least one post a day. Cool. So things you can do today around your structures is get your calendar current and schedule your to-dos. Like ditch the list. The list is not empowering. The list is a source of stress. Bye. Create an accountability partner or team. Gary and Ronan, you guys are talking? Like, get an accountability partner and someone that you can email with or have a quick call with once a week so that you can hold each other accountable to what you say you want. Schedule 3 to 5 tasks this week that will move your career forward. So you're not going to schedule stuff that doesn't matter, right? When you put something in your calendar, it's going to actually have to matter. And then you schedule when you work on each of those keys. Sometimes you have to do a little bit more for one key than another, depending on if you're updating your website or, blah, blah, blah. And I love this conversation that's going on in the chat room about, like educating and learning yourself, but not actually doing studio time. Then what you're doing is you're just getting inspired. So there's not actually educating yourself. Maybe, you might be learning some things, but mostly you're procrastinating. So and I can say that because that was so me. I was like, I've been learning all the things, but I wasn't actually taking action. And there's something stopping us from taking that action. And that is the first thing I do in my MX4 course that when I work with musicians. It is to figure out what's the thing that's stopping us, because there's something that's having us do that, right? It might be fear of failure or not knowing what to do next or not having the right partner or feeling like we don't have the right time. We handle that. Like we need to handle that. And it's totally natural. It's very human. We need to handle it. And put structures in place that support us, right? Michael, see you later. Bye-bye. Yeah, being great at learning is great. So here's the thing. So I've got 5 more minutes and then we're going to start looking at your websites here. So stay with me. We want to quickly talk about which key do you need to close the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. So one of those might have stuck out like, oh, if I could master pitching, like that would be really great. Like that would make a difference for me. Or if I could just get a handle on my money and like really create a plan, that would be great. Or I need to clean up my website. I know it looks like crap. It's not in line with who I am. And like, that's not what I'm about. Like there might be something that you feel like right now is more of a priority, right? So, okay. So you now know what the keys are and why they are important. You know where you are and you know where you want to be. And there's a gap, right? You wouldn't be here if there wasn't some sort of gap, right? If you had the perfect career, you probably wouldn't be here. So I'm glad you're here. And I'm working on all this too as I go along. And you also know what is missing, right? So there's good news. We can close the gap together and get you there. Again, it's not do it alone. And I'm also, like I said before, I'm a big fan of let's do this today. Like, let's talk about the next 6 weeks. Let's not talk about someday or in a couple years. Like you're working on this anyway. You're here spending an hour on a webinar, an hour and a half on a webinar. Like you're doing the work. So let's do work that's going to make a difference for you and get you the results that you want, that your family wants for you. That's what we need to create here. So we're going to start with your website. We're going to use your website to connect the dots. So start thinking, Not quite yet. Start thinking about it if you want to be brave. Don't worry, I will be kind most of the time. If you want to share your website, you need to type in the URL so I can click on it into the chat box. Don't do it yet, but get ready to go. And I'm going to do it first come, first serve. So don't press enter yet, because I want to just share an opportunity I have for you and a couple of the free things. And then we'll do that. No, I said don't do it yet, you guys. You're not listening. Because then I got to go scroll back because there's going to be a thing I post. Okay, so here's the thing I want to share with you. It's called MX4. I talked about it. It's the Marketing and Branding Money-Making Motivation Masterclass. That's what it is. It's much easier to read. I'm going to tell you about it quickly. It may be a fit for you. If it's not, cool, just hang tight for 5 minutes. There's still some other free things I'm going to give away. So here's what MX4 is, and I'm actually inviting you all, because you're still here, I'm inviting you to participate in this. It's a 6-week course that I created, and I've been running it for 2 years. And it's supported by CD Baby and Bandzoogle and Disc Makers. And it comes with a mission to ensure that musicians achieve unprecedented results in their careers in 6 weeks. Unprecedented. You have not seen these results before. And create lasting habits that allow for ongoing success. So this is not a course that's like, and now you need this. This is a course that you get a bunch of tools that you practice using and you get good at using. And then in 6 weeks, you're like, bye, see ya. And now I'm ready to go. Thank you, all the books on my shelf. I don't need you anymore. It's time to work. That's what this course does. So the format is, it's 6 modules. So you get 1 a week, and there are 2 to 4 10-ish minute video sessions with me. Each module, you'll get worksheets, homework, bonus live coaching videos, all that stuff is there. It's like a lot of stuff. You can choose what you want to do. There are interviews with music business experts. You get lifetime access to all this stuff, and I'm constantly updating it and changing it because the music industry is changing. You get access to all that. And there's an option for live coaching, like one-on-one with me, which is cool. So I like to call it a pathway to freedom, because when I get stuck, I actually do the work in this course. And people that have taken it say that they've gotten increased income in a very short amount of time, which is super true. A new community of motivated musicians and a place to network. There's a private Facebook group for these people, and it's pretty awesome. Confidence in their brand, how to talk about their music, how to pitch it. We do all of the communication stuff. Communication is like my area of what I like to call expertise. I have a background in advertising, which is all communication. And this is, we go deep here, people. There's an easy to implement social media strategy. I hinted on a little bit of it today. And you get a plan for your whole career and clear actions to take. This is the stuff that people say they got, right? Insights and tips on the current music industry. Yes, tons of that. So quickly, there are 6 weeks. The first week is all about your goals. So you create goals, what you want. We get real clear. We create a plan. We schedule the work. We make it really organized so it's not overwhelming. You get the strategy. Finally, the goals are achievable. So we're talking about things that you can do in 6 weeks. And like, as soon as you say the goal, it's like, over my dead body, will you leave this course not having done it? Like, that's how it works. You get a great calendar relationship too. Week 2 is branding. We figure out your default way of acting and we replace it with something that's empowering. So we actually figure out your mission statement for you in the world. And then from there, we take that and apply it to your colors and fonts and organize your website. You get your purpose, you get all this communication. It's great, right? Blah, blah, blah. Week 3 is all about pitching. So now that you've got your website and your brand and who you are all set up, now we figure out, who do we go pitch? And we're going to master the perfect pitch. You're going to create an organizational document. You're going to build teams. You're just going to get really good at making requests, and you're going to start seeing a lot of yeses. Fan engagement is week 4. You're going to define your ideal fan. So again, we're not going to be trying to please everybody, right? We're going to create a social media plan for posting so it doesn't consume your week. We're going to pick up a bunch of tips and tricks for social media management. It's going to be fun. You'll start to find your super fans. Some people decide that their goal is to launch a successful pledge or Patreon or Kickstarter campaign. You do that. Week 5 is all about finances. So we shift your money mindset once and for all, and we create a money management system. We brainstorm dozens of ideas, more than we did today, to generate new income. And we make sure that you're set up to be paid. So it's the money week. It's an awesome week. It's super empowering. It's really fun. Last week is structure. So we create a team, you become a leader, we schedule your year, we deal with anxiety and overwhelm, you get accountabilities. It's like all of the awesome stuff to really give you peace of mind. And again, this is just working more effectively. It's not adding time to your life. You do this at your own pace. So right now you might be stuck. You've tried everything. You're bored. You're not getting new results. You don't have money. You don't have time. You have all these things to not move forward, right? So if you have even just one of these, like this course was designed for you because I've had all of them, right? All of them. So I'm so glad that you're here because you are redefining the indie musician. People say, oh, musicians don't spend money and they don't invest in themselves and they just work from the heart. Like, no, you're here because you have a business or you want to have a successful business. So you are putting on your investing in myself hat, which is awesome. So here's a bunch of musicians that have taken the MX4 and they've all said awesome things. And there's a cool testimonial video on the page. I'll give it to you in a second. But my favorite one is this guy that said, this is the CrossFit of music marketing, money-making programs. CrossFit, like that sounds badass, right? We do not haul big metal balls around the room. So there are other courses out there, and I want to acknowledge that because there's some great ones. There's one on licensing music. It's around $1,000. There are a bunch of self-improvement ones that are around $10K, like they're mastermind groups. There's a bunch of online marketing courses like marketing Facebook, blah, blah, blah. They're all around $1,000 or like $100 a month. There's this incubator for entrepreneurs I found that looked kind of cool, and that's around $2,000. So, you know, this is like a thing. But MX4 is the only one that's specifically for musicians, designed by a successful musician. And by the way, I say successful because I have a full-time career creating and sharing my process around music. Like that's how I defined it. I'm still working on stuff, but this is what I'm committed to here. You get lifetime access to all this stuff. You get bonus coaching calls, a private Facebook group, a money back guarantee, which no one has ever taken me up on. And this is not information overload. A lot of those courses are information overload and long lists of how-tos. You actually do the work and it's catered to you specifically to help you create an inspiring strategy so that when you wake up in the morning, you're like, yes, this is what I've got to work on. So here's the investment, right? This is all the stuff that's involved. I'm just going to do this. You get access to guest interviews. It's $500. Some mastermind groups are like $5,000, but you get a network of community co-writers and partners and private backend website. And there's all this money back guarantee. It's priced basically, bottom line, it's valued at around $9,650, right? It's just like bananas number. So you're here, you're serious. So here's my not a procrastinator discount. It's $497. Like that's what the course costs. It's like period, end of story. And I just switched platforms and I'm really psyched about it. So this is like a lower than ever cost. And if you register in 24 hours, you get this cost, which is awesome. I'm going to actually give you the link here so you can see, you can go straight to it and check it out. And you get bonuses because you're here. So here's the cool bonuses. You can go to this website and thekeyofsuccess.com/MX4 and you get all the modules, you know, around your purpose, your brand, the fan strategy, pitching. You get email templates when you are doing your pitching, which is part of my perfect pitch course, which is $47. You get all this stuff. You get the videos, you get bonus coaching calls and the worksheets and all of this stuff, right? But today, because you're here, if you act now, because of course I need to have an act now, that's the thing, right? You get my e-course, which is $67 that this whole thing MX4 is based on. So it's really where it all started, and it gets into fan funding and bringing people to shows a little bit more. And if you sign up while this webinar is going on, you will get a private one-on-one coaching call with me, a video call. And then normally I do that for $270 because I'm expensive because I don't want to have a coaching business. Like I said, I'm a composer and songwriter. So you will get a bonus coaching video with me if you sign up while we are here. So that's kind of cool. Here's the bonus one is the e-course, and it's awesome. It starts talking about strategy and purpose and your brand and a little bit of what we do in MX4, but it's a PDF. So that's kind of fun. And then private video call with me. We'll get to know each other. We'll have a glass of wine. We'll have an informal, we can talk about whatever. Oh, I'm only doing this for 25 people because that's a lot of hours. And so my promise to you, and then we're getting to your websites, is this course was designed to fit into your life, not add work and stress to it. So the promise is that you'll become unrecognizable to yourself and how you work at your career in 6 weeks. There's 100% money back guarantee. And like I said, no one has asked for it, not a single time. And there's a reason for that, is because this works and I keep tweaking it and it keeps getting better. So I've spent over $100,000 on recording, touring, workshops, mentors, PRs. Like over the past 10 years, right? So if I had this course, I am 1,000% sure I would have only spent a fraction of that, like honestly. No more struggling. And how about getting more time instead of taking months to do all this stuff, if not years? Like find your groove in 6 weeks, people. 6 weeks. So if you're thinking about getting a new keyboard or hiring a PR firm for $4,000 or $2,000, like there'll be investments, but you won't actually know what you're getting really. Like, well, a keyboard, you do know what you're getting, but like, how is it going to pay itself back? This course is designed to pay itself back, to work in your life so there's immediate payoff. So a couple frequently asked questions I get asked a lot. Can you get your money back? Yes, I said that already. How much time should you put aside each week? The videos will probably be under half an hour to watch, but if you want to actually do all the work, usually between 1 and 5 hours, but that will depend on what your goals are because the course is designed around your goals. If you released a bunch of records already and you've toured and you've got this career going, is this for you? Yes, absolutely. If you haven't released a record yet, is that okay? Yes, absolutely. If you're not a performer, is that okay? Yes, I've had rappers and DJs and producers and composers and songwriters and artists and singers, all sorts of people do this course. So the next steps, if you sign up, you'll get an email with access to the course, and then you'll get an email from me in a couple of days confirming our one-on-one call. Don't miss the bonuses. If you haven't signed up, you'll get a friendly reminder about how we could create magic together. So that's that. I want to thank you guys for listening to all this, and I'm really excited to start to look at your websites. But before I do, let me end my screen thingy here and come back to the video. Hello, hello. Am I here? Am I here? All right. It looks like I'm here according to, hmm. Okay, yay. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so I invite you to sign up for MX4 right now. And I see that you guys have started to, I see that everyone has started to do the chat box. Okay, great. So I would love to see your website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. So you type in your URL for enable chat box. Hello. Okay. And now you can type in your URL, and I'm going to spend about literally 30 seconds to a minute and a half per person. And my intention is that this whole thing goes until no longer than an hour and a half. So you have to be here in order to do it. So I'm going to go back to where I just said. So I'm going to start with Stephen. Great. So here's how we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna go and share the screen. Oh, by the way, if you guys are not in the Facebook group, that is if I don't get to your website, I want you to post it there, and we'll try to do a little bit more there. But the Facebook group for In the Key of Success is, hold on, I'm gonna copy and paste it here. Make sure you go request to be part of that because that's a fun, awesome community. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna share my screen now, and we're gonna take a look at Stephen's website. All right. Oh, you all are asking now to join In the Key of Success. This is awesome. I love it. Tugalo Holler. Tugalo Holler? Like, come on. That's the coolest freaking name ever. Rick, I like your question. I can't help but why are you doing this if you're an established composer? Because I wish someone was doing this for me when I got started. Period. End of story. And now that I've got my career that I'm super psyched about, it didn't feel right to not share how I got there. Got it? All right, so I love this, first of all. I will share this. The top right, if you guys can see my mouse, the top right of a website is prime real estate. That is where the I goes to first on any website. So what you want here is something like a call to action, like sign up for the website. If you don't have anything that's like the number one thing you want someone to do, like go to a tour or watch your video, then you want them to sign up for your mailing list so that you can engage with them while you're building buzz. You don't want to take them away. They just got here. Why would you want them to go to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube? I'm a big fan of having social stuff on your webpage, but you want it way at the bottom, which you do. Great, 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 great. So you don't need this here if it's at the bottom. Great. Most of the time, you don't need home either because the image will bring you back home, which yours does. So you can get rid of this. You don't want to take up extra real estate. So tour. I'm guessing tours, you are doing some stuff here. Very cool. All right. So this is a scrolling site. Scrolling sites are great with photos. I like this. This is all news on the homepage, which is kind of cool. Some good looking photos. Cool. So the funny thing is that the bluegrass and gospel band, I feel like there's like it feels very dark. Like I wouldn't have expected bluegrass and gospel until I read it. So I'm wondering if this is in line with the music, this darkness. Like this feels like a little goth. This is a cool logo, but if it was on something more earthy, or like you've got these cool earth tones in here and you've got, earth tones in here, and, there's a religious thing going on. So, it's just something to think about. There, it feels like a little bit of a disconnect, just a little bit, but, so I'm going to stop there because I see that there are like 400,692 people here. So that's an exaggeration. I exaggerate a lot. So I'm going to go back to Stephen. Thanks for being the first. I really appreciate it. So Jonathan, are you still here? Jonathan Donkey. Nope. Dockney. I did not say donkey. I did. I'm sorry. I read it wrong. Okay. Oh my God. Look at this. So colorful. I love it. This is awesome. Okay. So home. Again, I bet if I click on your name, it takes me to the home. So you don't need home here. About music blog. So you want people to know about you? Is that the thing? Just fine. It's a Bandzoogle. Cool. The gray is a little hard to read, but I like that you have a consistent color. See, Bandzoogle sets you up automatically with 2 colors. It's kind of cool. Like, and they pick the right shades. And so you sort of already are consistent. I love it. Okay. So let's just see a little bit about, here you are. Afro-Jewish gay rebel singer-songwriter based in Cape Town. I love it. Great. So we've got a nice, concise, so now I get it, right? Like, and now the latest music is going to be down here. We've got some SoundCloud. I love that you guys can change the SoundCloud color. Did you know that? It's awesome. This pink is awesome. This is the first time I'm seeing it here, and other than in this photo, which is great. I wonder if that color should be on the homepage somewhere. Like maybe the sign up button could be that hot pink. I want to bring that in because that's awesome. Great. Conversion therapy. Okay, cool. Again, I have a hard time seeing here. Let's go to contact. I'm always curious about contact. So, Facebook. So now these colors are not your colors. I'm a big fan of black and white or other colored icons, because right now we are not on your brand anymore. We are on the brand of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and SoundCloud. And that is not a brand that we don't need to help them with their brand and marketing. Like, they're doing just fine. So make these white or black and white or gray or something, right? Okay, great. I like this site a lot. I'm so excited about these. Great. So Silix music. I'm going to Silix. Dun, dun, dun. It says, for the full experience, download the latest Chrome. I don't know about that. I'm not going to. I'm in Safari. Look at this. Very cool. Okay, subscribe. There's stuff going on over here. We can listen there, I'm guessing. Cool. I like this color. Little bar up there. Great. I'm guessing this is Twitter down here, which is okay. This is funny. I'm confused. Like, that's not a menu, but it looks like a menu. And I can't scroll down. Biography store made by nextlevel.nl. Like, I don't know what that is. I'm like scared to click on it. Am I going to go to a different site? Email. What am I subscribing for? So I want to know, am I going to get something free? Am I going to get a free song? By the way, I'm a big fan of giving away a free song in exchange for an email. Emails are gold. So of course it should be a transaction, right? Let's click on it. Let's be dangerous together. Yep. We go to another website, which is confusing. Web development launch page. Okay, so is this like the company that designed your website and you need to put them there? Because again, that's weird. So that's a video. That's listen to my promo video. Okay, so I'm not really clear what to do. Like, I don't know what you want me to do here. Like, there's a lot of stuff and none of it feels more important than the other stuff. So I would love to see a menu, see what you do. Like, I don't get what you do. Is this are you, listen to my demo promo video. Are you a composer? Are you a rapper? Are you you have CDs? Cool. You know, sometimes from a photo, you can tell what kind of music sometimes, and not that you need that. Or do you do sound effects? Like, there's a gun. So maybe you're a sound effects artist. Silix, there's an X there. Who knows? But I don't know. So now I have to click. Now I have to do some work, right? So now I have to read this. Okay. You know, so close here. Okay. And then I have to go back here. There's a lot of clicks, right? So it's not super user friendly. The thing you got though, you've got this killer photo. Like, this is an awesome photo. So check out Bandzoogle, because they have a lot of cool templates that are very photo heavy, and you've got a great brand color, great logo, great photo. And I can even see these colors, you know, in this photo. So you've got a lot of the stuff to start. And now I just want to know more, I guess, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Okay. So next, let's see here. Michael Pedersen. Let's go here. I'm spending more time on these. I get really passionate, you guys. Okay, cool. So see, I get that this is music, right? Acoustic, probably. Again, we don't need homepage. I bet, yep, your name brings me back to the homepage. Music, videos, shows, photos. There's a lot of things in the menu. I'm a big fan of like 5 or less. I like that you can play down here. This is a Bandzoogle page, I can tell. Got a bunch of sign up for a mailing list and receive a free download. Cool. I would love to know what song, like, why is that download cool? What do we get? What else? Are you going to spam us? Like, what's the thing? So we get to watch all this stuff. This is cool. Also on iTunes, here's a link. Maybe say click here instead of actually have this long thing, because it's kind of bananas. But you can click on that and it goes to iTunes, which is great. Download. Yep. Also available. So you definitely want to get your links to be the same color as your brand, which is some color. This is a dark blue. Maybe you want that light blue is funny. Let's find another color. We've got black, white, and I mean, on the homepage, I like that photo a lot. There's definitely some cool greens and blues, so you could pull a color from here. Got good photos. Yeah, you've got like this is a great site. I mean, I'm a big fan of Bandzoogle. They make it really simple and make it really obvious, like what you need to do. Is it really for booking and inquiries, or is it for fans too? Because don't try to be fancy when, if you want fans to connect to you and email you, then you can say that too. It's okay. Unless you do a lot of shows. Let's see, maybe you have a lot of shows. So many pages. There's so much space here. Why don't we have 2 columns of shows? Why do I have to scroll down and then go to the next page? Yeah, get all this on one page, because this is impressive. You're doing a lot of shows, which is cool. Let's get on one page. Really great start. You guys this is awesome. Like, everyone's looking great, really great. So we got Aaron, Victor, and Penny is next. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, last thing. I'm doing a live call. Shit, I forgot to tell you. I'm going to put it in the chat box. Hold on. Get my calendar up. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to put it in the chat box. You can just hop on this. It's going to be a video call where you can actually ask me questions about my course and stuff. And I'm doing that in a half an hour. So back to Victor and Penny. This is adorable. I love it. It feels like theatrical and jazzy. Let's see. Swing-infused folk jazz rooted in the riff-driven Kansas City. I mean, whew, that's a lot of stuff. But we've got this yellow, we've got some white, we've got some red, and we've got the maroon here. We probably don't need home. Yeah, we don't need the home. Oh, I love a good bands in town. Can't get rid of that. I know that. Great blog workshops about. See, I feel like about and contact and blog they might want to be closer together. So I am taking to this different page. What's going on here? Okay, that was weird that loaded. I want the background of your loading pages to be the same as this, but for some reason it is not, but that's okay. Workshops, email, great. Contact. Okay, so I see they're red here. That's actually, it looks like a different red than the penny. So you want to make sure that that's consistent. That's a fun graphic, but it's blocking your form here. But I like it. I like even that the color is your gold color there. Cool. I mean, this is good stuff here. I really do love that these little icons are your Facebook. Like, talk about being on brand there. Though I don't want them so front and center. I don't want people to go away from this awesome site. So put them somewhere else. Bye. Great. Jay, I'm going to do 2 more, you guys. I'm like trying to get them here. So we got Jay. Okay, cool. Cleverly, I'm guessing that is the CD title, available now on all these places. So we've got some beats. The Beat Seller tour. Okay, cool. It's a groove. Got it. Shop online, apparel and music. Cool. Very clear. I'm a fan of drop-down menus, videos, artists. Okay, got it. So is it the Beat Seller? Is it a label? The Beat Seller is a collective of talented artists. Got it. Okay. I want that. I want to know that. But this new record came out, and this is what you want me to do, is to buy it now. But I can't click on any of these things. So how do I buy it? So maybe make this a clickable link. Where do you want people to buy it from most? Maybe this photo should be a clickable link. More. Contact, blog, photos, affiliates. Radio interviews. Okay. I am not such a big fan of the different grays. There's a lot of different, we've got lots of different browns in here, which are really cool. And we've got this kind of distracting background. I think it could be, there's like a light gray line here. Like, I get it, but you also, and I see this a lot with, especially like urban artists and hip hoppers and rap and stuff like that. You like want to feel like there's a darker feel to the music. So you want to go dark with the website. Dark doesn't necessarily have to mean, dark from the music doesn't have to mean dark with the colors. So I may play around with maybe making the background one of these colors and not the pitch black. It might be a little more on brand. I like this. The Beat Seller is really cool. That's a really cool logo here. So you've got all the materials now. But the problem with when you're working with a collective or you have a label, you have a lot of different people's visuals. So you have different fonts everywhere, you have different colors, you have different, so as much as you can be consistent, it's going to really help you. And I'm just noticing right now that there's like that font is different, or is that a logo? So we've got different colors here. So it's tricky when you have a bunch of different records. You want to see what you can keep consistent. And I get asked that question a lot. Like, what do I do if I have another record coming out? Do I have to rebrand my whole website? And I don't. I used to, and it used to be a pain in my butt, but I don't anymore. And I think it's really important that you have some element that's consistent and you just say, okay, this is my new project. So what I do is I might just change the color of my title on my website to be a color that I pull from my new record. But my base color is there's like a teal color that you see everywhere with me is the same everywhere. So, just sort of having hints, people will sort of get it subconsciously. But again, you guys all have really good elements to start with. It's just, a good way to find out, is this user friendly, is have a friend pretend they're a fan or a booking agent or, someone that you want to have come to your site and say, hey, is it easy for you to find what you would be looking for? And you can also do that test too. So you guys, there are so many websites here. I want to go through all of them so badly. But I am running out of time, and I really appreciate you've been here for an hour and a half with me. So I'm going to email you guys the slides. I think you'll get that later today or tomorrow. And I'm really, really, really glad that you are here. Thank you so much for being here. Go sign up for MX4 right now, and we'll do a strategy call together, just you and me, and we'll crank out some stuff. It will be awesome. And I'm just really grateful that you've been here. So let me stop sharing my screen and come back to, you're welcome, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. I wanted to be here in person, not in person, to say thank you for being here. And I do these probably like once a month, and I always change it up a little bit, but go check out MX4, The Perfect Pitch, and there are tools that like I said, I wish I had. And I appreciate that you were here and asked me the hard questions. I'm an open book, so feel free to ask me more on the Facebook group. It's the In the Key of Success Facebook group, and there's a lot of awesome, motivated, talented musicians just like you. So thank you for being here. The Facebook site, I think, oh, that's not it. That's the Zoom call. If you want to hop on a call and ask me questions about MX4, that's going to happen in a half an hour. Here's the Zoom call again, and the Facebook group. I'm getting it for you right here. And you'll get an email. There's a Facebook email, I think. And there you go. Wait, did it go up? Yeah, Facebook group right there. You'll get emails with this, so you're in now. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you are considering MX4 and have some questions and want to talk to me one-on-one, hop on that Zoom call in 25 minutes. So that will be there, or you can email me or go to the Facebook group. A lot of people there have done the course and could actually, talk to you as well if you have questions. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys so much. You're awesome. And I will see you soon.